Cincinnati ready for a $7 cup of coffee? Well, if you won the Powerball last week, you could afford $7 coffee every day. $579 million was up for grabs, and despite a lot of tickets sold, no one from our area was among the two winners. But of course, we can always dream. In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, U.S. Bank Vice President and Senior Portfolio Manager Mike Denneman joins me to speculate on what if. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Good to have you with us. Chances are none of us are going to win the lottery, but we might come onto a windfall. How would we react? What would be the best way to react to getting a lot of money that we didn't expect to come in?
Sure. Well, and with all the hoopla this week with the Powerball, that makes a nice time to consider a potential windfall, because while the lottery is not a realistic scenario, we do see windfalls that are much more commonplace. An inheritance, a large financial gift, if you were to sell a small business. So while dollar-wise those might not compare to a lottery jackpot, they do carry a lot of the same potential problems. So the do's and don'ts in both scenarios are oftentimes the same.
Problems. It's so funny to hear you say that, because people think, oh, if I just had $1 million.
Right.
What kind of problems are you talking about?
Right. Well, you know, we think it's very important, and this is probably a no-brainer, but get some trusted advice, because any windfall, regardless of the size, is going to carry some complexity with it, be it a legal issue, a tax issue, oftentimes both. So if you seek out advice from someone who has experience in this area, an accountant, a lawyer, a financial advisor, they can help you to navigate through some of these potential pitfalls. Because let's face it, when you're talking about tax and legal issues, you really don't want to make a misstep there. That could end up costing you in the long run.
Give me an example of something we should avoid if we get a sudden windfall.
Well, sure. There are a lot of things that are fairly obvious, you would think. You know, don't blow it all on a spending spree. Be wary of long-lost relatives and friends who come looking to help you spend your windfall. But there are others that aren't quite so obvious. For instance, you may not want to pay off all of your debt. That's a healthy impulse, of course, because having too much debt is a bad thing. But there are scenarios where having some debt might be beneficial. For instance, a mortgage. Many people, even after a windfall, are still going to qualify for the interest deduction on their tax return. For many folks, that's the largest single deduction they have. So if minimizing tax is a priority for you, keeping your mortgage, even if you can pay it off, sometimes makes sense. So there are a lot of pros and cons to weigh there. So again, getting advice from someone that you trust, from someone with experience, they can help you figure out how best to maximize your enjoyment of your newfound wealth.
Great. If we get a windfall, we know what to do now.
That's right.
And what not to do. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you and U.S. Bank.
Thanks, Brian.